So I'm going to read from the Old Testament pseudepigrapha. I'm going to read in the Greek Apocalypse of Ezra, the Antichrist. Okay, I'm going to start at chapter 4, verse 25. And they led me away to the north, and I saw a man there restrained with iron bars. And I asked, "Who is this?" And he said to me, "This is one who says, I am the Son of God, and he who has made stones bread and wine." And the prophet said, "Make known to me what sort of appearance he has, and I will inform the race of men lest they believe in him." And he said to me, "The appearance of his face is of a wild man. His right eye is like a star rising at the dawn, and the other is unmoving. His mouth is 1 cubit. His teeth are a span long. His fingers like slits. His soles of his feet 2 spans, and on his forehead an inscription, the Antichrist." Okay, Jesus Christ. Okay. "He was exalted up to heaven. He will descend as far as Hades. One time he will be a child, the other an old man." And the prophet said, "Lord, how do you permit the race of men to stray?" And the Most High said, "Hear my prophet. He becomes a child and an old man, and let no one believe him that he is my beloved son. And after these things a trumpet, and the graves will be open, and the dead will rise up uncorrupted." A particularly Christian development is that the Antichrist will take on features in intimidation of those of Christ or Hamashiach in order to deceive man. Okay, the white Jesus.
What do you mean he can't be black?
He can't be black. Maybe we can make Jesus another color.
How about white? But Jesus was black. He could probably do Italian.
Jesus was Middle Eastern. Jesus was Middle Eastern. Jesus was Middle Eastern.
In addition to Arabs, the Middle East has always had many people of African descent whom you would consider black.
This idea is clear in the Apocalypse of Ezra 4 and 27, and the warning against it comes out once again in Ezra 4 and 35. Another particularly clear example is the seventh vision of Daniel, where the Antichrist is described as a wonder worker having near him the souls of the lost, drawing bread out of stones and giving sight to the blind. All this is said to be in the resemblance, that is, of Christ. The passage concludes with a lament for those who believe in him. Earlier in the same section, he is said to be born of an unholy virgin and to turn many away from the worship of the Most High. Now, we understand that the word virgin doesn't mean any sexual history. It just means unmarried. It means woman who's still of a marriageable age. Okay? The same thing may also be observed in the Coptic Apocalypse of Elijah 3:1 through 11 and other sources.
Hey, watch it, baby. This cat is heavy on religion.
I can see this has become a struggle between good and evil. Satan has a question. What color were the original Hebrews? I have told you that we don't know that for certain. Then you can't believe for certain that Jesus was white. Just a moment. God is white. Isn't it obvious? Well, that is obvious, but we don't know if it's obvious that God is white. It teaches us that Jesus did not have blonde hair and blue eyes. It teaches us that the images of Jesus that are on prison walls and churches throughout the world are not historically correct.
So we have the victim's mother, Jacob Blake, and she says, mother says we need healing, in a powerful speech about her son. America is great when we behave greatly. Now, the problem I have with that statement is when we behave greatly. Hasn't the so-called black man behaved in America greatly? When, you live the American dream, you pay your taxes or they take your taxes, you do what you're supposed to do, but yet there's always someone bringing you down. Okay. She also says, we are the United States. Have we been united? And Jacob Blake's mother, Julia Jackson, in a speech on Tuesday, we have never been united in the United States. Anybody with a little history knows that America has never been united. You kidnap people from the west coast of Africa, deport them from Europe, and the Aboriginal blacks, some that were here, you take their lands, you rape, pillage, and destroy them. There's nothing united about that. And, from the biblical standpoint, it says we'll be sold into the land of our enemies. Now, tell me this. Does it make sense? So if you kidnap people and you educate them, wouldn't it be in the enemy's best interest to miseducate you, teach you things that's not of the truth, and lie to you and call you all sorts of names? That makes sense to me, and then preach this false dream illusion of equality when they don't look at you the same or equal. But the black man in America is like a cash cow. Black dollars don't circulate in no community. And that's how it is. It's the same story from the Hebrews in Egypt. Okay? There's going to be divine intervention that's going to transpire. Oh yeah, best to believe that. Also, she said, pray for the police and pray for America. I'm sorry, if your son is shot 7 or 8 times, you do not pray for the enemy. Now, the problem with Christianity, especially the modern or pagan Christianity and white Jesus, is they taught us to love thy enemy. That scripture is taken out of context. Love thy enemy actually means waiting on the Most High for his vengeance. For vengeance is upon the Most High, not ours. So it don't mean love your enemies. Not at all. Because they sure don't love us. But peace and shalom.
Because I think there's a great lesson in here to tell us who we are, who we were 150 years ago, 160 years ago, and who we are now as a result of that.